when I started making Chicken Chasers, I did it with the mindset that this was going to be a small game. This was going to be something that I could do start to finish with like full polish and commercial readiness in 3 months. It is an extremely simple game. It is a game that I already had figured out a lot of the controls for in prototyping and that I generally found fun. And so putting together levels for that and putting together a bit more polish and I don't know, transitions, core mechanics, stuff like that. It sounded very simple, like the easiest game I could imagine. But I said 3 months because I work full time and this is just kind of like a hobby project for me. And that was the mindset going in. It was a distraction from a project I had been working on that I was super passionate about that was going to be a longer project, but I thought I want to get the experience. I want to learn how to do a full project. I've seen like YouTubers and streamers or whatever just being like, "Hey, I made a game in a month or 2 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever and released it and it had financial success." And I was like, I could, I want to try that. Like 3 months doesn't feel like a big commitment. I could try that. So I did. I put my project on a shelf. I started working on Chicken Chasers, which is a totally different type of game than my dream project. It's an action, it's casual, but it's still a rage game. And I like cozy games. I like life sims and builders and management games. So this is totally outside of like my favorite types of games, my passions, but it was a game that I had already kind of prototyped, felt like it would be a quick turnaround, and in general, I found this one fun in a way that I haven't found other games in this genre fun. So fast forward, we're now in month 4. I have I had planned on releasing at about the 6 month mark because of June Next Fest. I thought I was still going to be done in 3 months, and then I was going to spend 2 months doing marketing or whatever, Next Fest, bug fixing after Next Fest, and then release it. And now I've pushed back to at least after the October Next Fest because when the sign up for Next Fest came and now went, I realized my project wasn't anywhere near done. This may just sound like a personal failure, like I heart you're just bad at game dev or something, you're just slow, you don't know what you're doing. I genuinely like sure. Yeah, maybe I'm just bad at it. Maybe it's just a me problem and I don't know what I'm doing. I certainly have never made a commercial game before, and so I definitely have been learning and stumbling as I've gone. But I I guess the point of what I'm trying to say is that it's not realistic to think that your first commercial game, you're going to know everything that needs to go into making a commercial game in order to release it in such a short time frame. When people say make small games, make a game you can release in 3 months, 6 months max, make small games and iterate, throw a bunch of shit at the wall, see what sticks. I think it means that like I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good the spirit is correct. You should make the smallest game you can possibly imagine. You should make games fast. If I had made the game that I had been working on, I wouldn't be nearly at the point I am with Chicken Chasers right now. Now that I'm working on Chicken Chasers and I'm getting like to the point of commercial viability in my development and thinking about the project I had been working on, I think that project was going to take like 5 years to finish at least. Just realizing how much bigger it was and how much more I needed to put into that. to even get to the point where I'm learning what I'm learning now for chicken chasers. So, long story short, if that's even possible at this point, um, yes, you should make a game that you plan to release in 1 month or 3 months commercially, and you should do it. You should work on that. But no, if you're the first time doing it, if you're a hobbyist who works a full time job, or you have like kids and like other responsibilities, you probably aren't actually going to make a game in 3 months or a month that's commercially viable. You might make a game and release it on Steam in that time, but to make one that has any chance of commercial success and has commercial level of polish to it, no. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay because making that game and realizing that you need to put more time into it to get it to the point of commercial viability, that's learning that you need to do. And it's going to make the longer projects you do next, or other short projects you do next, or whatever you want to do next, it's going to make you go with a more informed lens of what the final product needs to look like, what it needs to function like, what kind of information you're going to run into when it comes to performance limitations, getting your game to work on other people's computers, and like having that responsibility to make it work on other people's computers, how to market, time frames, when do you actually need to sign up for shit in order for it to get approved, like getting into Next Fest, you need to sign up for that months in advance. And when you sign up, Steam reviews your game page. And if your game page is still like the initial screenshots you took when you were just trying to get a Steam page up and it looks like shit, you're not going to get featured in Next Fest. And I mean, that sucks. So, like, just like understanding that kind of stuff is important. It's valuable to learn. I'm making this video because you, hobby dev, person who's never done this before, person who's never worked alone before, person that has a bunch of responsibilities at home and only actually realistically gets a couple hours a day at most, it's okay that it's not actually going to take you a short time to make a small game. Making a small game in a small time frame for someone in your life situation, you're not working full time on this with experience with a team, you're not failing by taking longer. You're succeeding by making a game with such a small scope that you're ever going to actually finish. And that's awesome. So I don't want you to feel discouraged. I want you to keep going. I want you to try this. Like, if you haven't thought of making a small game, a game that you think you could make in a month or 3 months to like release commercially, try it, because it's going to take longer than that probably. But that just means all your games are going to take longer than you think. And that's a good lesson as well. Like, not like you need to learn the lesson to be humbled, but more like you need to learn how far off your estimations were so that you can figure out your actual rate of production and then plan for bigger projects. It's not like you need to be humbled. It's, yeah. Anyways, so that's all I had to say. And yeah, bye.